Thank you, Freak. Now, before we break down Dig's win, we want to tell you all to stick around because we've got Riv setting up to talk with Doublelift a little bit later. But now jumping into this victory, the first thing I want to touch on is the Xin Zhao pick. Just because it did not seem to work out entirely in the early game, which is why you would normally take that champion.
Are you directing it at me?
I'm directing it at both of you, at the analysts, on the analyst desk.
So I don't think that's a problem with the champion, because Helios, we talked a lot about Helios, the early ganks, and he's only had 2 games in. This is why I don't like, stats for, defining the play style of a certain player in the game. Helios, this time around, he tries to go for a lot of early ganks, and it's not the champion's fault that the ganks don't work out there. The timing windows that he looks for with those ganks just were not there. So he got really behind. Rush got ahead in farm because of it. But yeah, I don't think that was due to the champion. Speaking of the pick bans overall, I think Dignitas had a really good pick and ban phase this time around. And I actually really questioned Team Impulse last lock-in of Varus when you're already facing an Alistar, Hecarim, and Twisted Fate on the board. You lock in a double AD without a dash there. That's just really scary because Shifter's already going to build an early Zanyas and look for these TF plays to initiate.
Yeah, and they paid for it too. The backline initiation there and the execution from Dignitas was on point. We had to talk about Gamsu because 11, 0, and 10, 100% kill participation as a top laner. Next closest person only participated in 14 out of the 21 kills. He was all over the map and he was just crushing everybody that was in his sights. So Gamsu immediately was like, oh, you lock these champions in? I'm going to go running at your backline every single time, crushing them. And the fact they had that backline access and a backup strategy too. Like, this team composition is really good at split pushing as well. So even if Dignitas, and they didn't even have to go to that strategy at all. They went like one time to a split push strategy. Otherwise, they were fighting and getting to the backline. So I like Dignitas that goes like that, and we have multiple strategies. If one doesn't work out, that's fine. We have options, and as soon as one starts working, they can play to their strengths and the other team's weakness, which is picking a whole bunch of fights that they can't win.
Yeah, and they did take a little bit of time to ramp up into this game. We saw essentially a CS differential in favor of Impulse across all 3 lanes leading up to that 10-minute mark, and it wasn't until Dignitas was able to find a few picks and capitalize on them that they were able to pull themselves back into contention for the gold lead.
Yeah. Team Impulse, they had really good individual play, but again, the drafting and the team play from Team Dignitas is what got them.
Yeah, I haven't really seen a much better example of the whole 5 fingers make a fist in a unit in a very long time in this Dignitas squad. I know.
All right, well, I do want to jump into our replay. We're going to go 18 minutes into the game. This is sort of a long one because it starts off in Tip's favor, but we have an LCS big play tweet that we're going to pull up. At DClaude writes, Gamsu, I'm going to Hecarim. Tons of damage. And essentially, wonderful usage of that Hecarim, the kill participation, as you mentioned, from Gamsu, coming in with the home guards on the tail end of a 1 fight for Impulse, kind of swaying things for them.
All right, so let's start this one off. Roll the clip here, and we'll see the beginning of this is, sort of classic Team Impulse here. They're trying to disengage, and they use the Gen Ultimate and Xiao Wei Xiao's Chain of Corruption, and they actually get it off. And they got a lot of damage onto Helios here. And so here's the highlight for Impulse. So their ability to chase people down, kill people in these, spread out team fights. Now, though, they're overextended. And this is the beauty of the team that Dignitas drafted. They've got the long-range teleports here coming in from both Twisted Fate and Hecarim. And they're looking at specifically punishing Impulse's over-aggressive move here, trying to get the objective after one of their spread-out team fights where they sort of just brawl you off of the map. And it's just the perfect, this is the quintessential, basically, way that this team will get a victory with the double teleports. I mean, you lock in your double AD with your mid laner with no dash into this team. You got to be really prepared for those types of plays, because if you do not hit perfect Chain of Corruption and Janna Ultimate, then that team is going to engage on you. They also got the first pick, Alistar, the Kiwi kid, was great all game.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing what happens with the league with this Dignitas in it, because they have the best punish game out of all teams at the moment. We've seen if you make one mistake, they're the whole, we're going to take your whole arm if you give us a finger.
Well, we'll continue to look to see if they can improve their early game so that they don't have to make those huge punish plays to get back into it. Now, a lot of people have been following the story of Double's basketball injury this week on Twitter. Here we see the team taking time away from their practice schedule to recreate the scene of the crime. I don't know why you would ever grab a chain net. That just doesn't sound like the smartest idea, but we've got Riv standing by with Double Stitch to get the straight story.
Thank you very much, gentlemen. I am joined by Double Lift, who somewhat on the bench for the hand, but pulled himself off, wants to still play, and he's going to play. The team's going to let him, obviously. I got one question for you, man, to start off. Obviously, on everybody's mind, what the hell?
Well, we're playing basketball because we have a small basketball court at our house, at our compound, and I think I went to like stuff Darshan, and I grabbed the net, and it was rusty metal, so then I put like 160 pounds on my pinky, and then I looked down for a sec. It didn't really hurt at all, and I looked down, and my pinky was looking wrong, so Matt and Chris took me to the hospital, and they spent 3 hours with me while I got 12 stitches. It's a fun time.
So is this kind of the first experience where you've ever kind of hurt your hand, the thing you need to kind of play most professionally?
Yeah, this is actually my first like real injury ever. Never broken a bone, never like had to get stitches or sprained or fractured anything. Right. And I expected it honestly to be a lot more painful. Like you'd think if you like almost cut your finger in half, it would hurt a lot, but it doesn't really hurt. All
right, so I gotta ask, not that it hurts, you said it does not hurt. Have you changed up your key bindings? You've been playing how many, 5 plus 6, 7 years in the same keys. Did you have to switch things up?
Yeah, I've been playing with the same binds for 5 years basically, and playing with 9 fingers kind of sucks because I have to change around like a lot of my key binds to make it so I can essentially, because my thumb doesn't really help, I have to play with 3 fingers now. It's kind of annoying, but I gotta practice for like a full day with it after I recovered, and it should be fun. I played like the best role. AD carry is not very keybind intensive role, so I can manage.
So you think the auto spacing is going to be just fine?
Oh, I hate you, Riv. I hate you so much.
Coming up, you guys got TDK. How are you feeling about this matchup? And really, if you could say anything to the team without having all the players that they need, you know, what should they look for right now in trying to better themselves?
Well, I have a handicap now, so game might be more even because they'll need it.
All right, you went down a different path there, but to each his own. One more question for you. The team is 5-1, like I said before. Everything's looking right. Do you feel like this could actually potentially hurt the team's chances to keep doing well?
No, not even close. Actually, this really, it's so weird because my keybinds have stayed the same for so long. I actually realized like they're not optimal, and it made me, after a few more days of doing this, like my pinky's gonna be fine. Like I'll be able to play with all 10 fingers in a week or maybe even less than that. And it'll just make more optimal. And also, I think we're a lot closer after this too, because it showed me that my team is really important to me, and like they all really care. You know, when I came home, they were all really worried and asking me if I'm okay, and just really supportive. So, I don't know. This is like just the best CLG that I've been on, and I don't think anything's gonna change. I just need a couple days to heal up, and we're gonna be good to go.
All right, man. Sounds great. I'm sure the fans are happy to hear that. Be sure to stick with us. We do have Team Dragon Knights versus Counterlogic Gaming coming up in just 3.5.
Week 4 of the North American LCS with Team Dignitas sitting at 4-2.
They want to dive.
Has the ulti on Alistair, goes for impact. Big stun's gonna land.
I don't know, man.
Okay, nice! He's gonna go for it, goes in. Whoa. Impact gets a shield, in comes Shifter, the rocket gets 1. Gamsu gets a 2nd, he gets a 3rd. On the flank, TF's there as well. They're gonna look right for Impact. The flash in, Adrian's gonna get knocked up and destroyed. Echo. The Baron already dies. Oh! Rush gets to steal with flash. Here comes the fight. Maybe this is the battle that Impulse needed. Whoa! They've also got Gamsu and Xiaowei. Xiao goes down. Apollo's trying to run, but he can't run fast enough. Team Dignitas right now in sole control of 3rd place.